Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel. My name is Donita and this is Edyta.
Hello.
And today we have a wonderful guest. His name is Philip Isaksen. And Philip is thank you for being here, Philip. Wonderful to have you.
My
Uh,
pleasure.
Aloha.
Aloha. Yes.
Oh,
After spending more than 30 years in the corporate world, it was time for Philip to dive into his passions, golf and guidance. With his extensive sales, marketing, and business acumen coupled with his own extensive personal development, Philip provides guidance and his superpower to those who offer a heartfelt invitation. He helps people rediscover their divine design and divine power and get more connected to their true calling. By offering support and perspective, Philip's magical toolbox is shared extensively. Lovely. Wonderful to have
wow.
you here. I know.
Sounds important.
Sounds important. So, who is Philip? Welcome to our
Yeah,
channel.
thank you. Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm truly grateful. Who is Philip? Wow. So much there. Uh, I'll just share a little brief history. I'm currently now living on the island of Kauai in Hawaii. My children both think of this as home. I lived here like 10 or 12 years ago for 8 years. And so they went through a grade school and middle school and high school and so forth. But after that, I returned back to the mainland after my divorce in roughly 2010 and back to Seattle, where I'm originally from. And I'm one of seven kids. I was grateful to spend the last 7 years of my mother's life in this realm. A lot of lessons there, absolutely beautiful and amazing. And I'm grateful that me of all the children were the one blessed to be with her. So, um, but yeah, I spent many years in the corporate world, and it's ironic that I changed jobs, maybe not companies, but changed jobs about every 2 to 3 years throughout that entire time. It's just, and maybe that'll get into my human design a little bit. As a projector, I look to go and master things. And then at that point, I've mastered them. So maybe it's on to something new and exciting and bring that in and kind of just absorb into it and tap into everything I can about it and get to a mastery level. And then it's kind of on to the next. And so that's where I'm at right now, with multiple different industries that I've worked in. A lot of sales, a lot of marketing, interpersonal relationships and communications. Uh, as a young kid, I started in the special English class, so I was yanked out and put in this special class because the language didn't make sense to me, which is ironic because where I'm at now, there's a lot that doesn't make sense. And so diving back into maybe some of the etymology, the root roots of the words and how we use them and the spelling that it creates and so forth. But yeah, and so now I'm just offering. I feel like in between, like when I was a young kid, we had our grandparents and all that stuff passing down stories and all that stuff. And I think there's a big gap that's available now for us wiser people. I won't say older, but wiser people, maybe experienced. Maybe that's the, the term we want to use. But that we're available to share some of that wisdom and those hard knock lessons that we powered through, right? And so be able to share a different perspectives for people to regain their divine power, tap into what's they're truly passionate about, because if you do that which you love, it's no longer work, and chances are somebody's going to benefit from it And then you have the currency exchange. And in this realm, currently, it's, dollars or whatever, that type of currency. But um, you just become more fulfilled and you feel better, and everybody around you feels better. And it's just connecting at that level and sharing some opportunities, like what does, touch, move, and inspire, you know, um, just help people tap into the way they were originally designed, blast off, have fun doing it.
Beautiful. So you talk about the corporate world for many, many years, but what inspired you and what made you shift to where you are right now?
Um, there was well, it, I got into my human design, and it was roughly, I don't know, 4 years ago. And I realized that this world in which we live in, 80% of the people have this sacral energy. And so they need to burn their battery out before the end of every day to rest peacefully. But us projectors, there's only 20% of the world population are projectors. We have a finite amount of energy. And so we have to manage that. Otherwise, we're going to burn out. So in that corporate lifestyle where you're driving, 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 I was burning out all the time. And I didn't manage it very well. I made some choices that were not as healthy as one would like and so forth. And so it was just driving me lower and lower and lower. And so finally I got a outside of a corporate job with a good friend of mine, worked in with his business, and that started releasing me from that grind of 60 hours a week in front of a computer screen, phone, 16 different programs, all the stuff. I was in the mortgage business, and it was nuts. And so driving around visiting people, and this is through the whole pandemic, and helping them modify their homes, and make their living spaces that much nicer. It was flooring is what I was helping them with, but it just got out and about and seeing people. And then I took a sabbatical and I went on a 3-month road trip by myself. And although I'd visited most of all the Western United States in my past, I visited all the Western United States looking for the next place I was going to live. And I also flew down to Mexico for a couple weeks as well. At the tail end of that trip, I returned here to Kauai to visit my son. And the parameters that I was looking for was someplace warm, so I could potentially grow food year round, clean water if it was fresh and salt water, even better, and inexpensive golf. And so when I came back here to visit my son, we went golfing 3 times. And I remembered every aspect of the courses. Like even when I spray a shot off to the right or left or whatever, I go, God, I remember that shot, out of trouble. But the water here is clean. One of the wettest places on earth is the center of the island with nearly 39 feet of water annually. The ocean, we're about, 3,000 miles from any major landmass. So we're truly in one of the most desolate places on the planet that we're aware of currently. So truly magical. And my son was setting up his life here. So one of the things I learned on that road trip was how important family was. I mean, I'm really good by myself. I'm alone a lot. I rarely feel lonely, but to have really close loved ones that you can just share those emotions with, and hugs, the physical hugs, was really important. So I chose to move back here to Kauai and love it. And my daughter, Danica, she set up her life in Seattle. So where I'm originally from, there's still aunts and uncles and all that fun, cousins. galore there. She loves it there, but she says, Dad, I'm so happy you chose Kauai because she can come back here and visit me. Their mother still lives here. We get along fine. And now her brother's setting up shop. And then she's got aunts and uncles, and then aunties and uncles and cousins and high school friends. And so it's just absolutely beautiful. And that's one of the things, in this realm here, if you can open yourself up, to listen, what's, you know, this, the universe is here conspiring to provide us everything that we need. And it's usually something better than we would ever hope for. So when people are like manifesting or say this or something better, right, leave that open, because chances are we undervalue who and what we are and what we're due to receive, or deserve, right? Which is another big lesson one has to learn is, deserving, because we're layered in with all these things that transpired when we were young kids, and we're trying processing these things when we were, a 3-year-old or a 5-year-old. And it's like, but it's still within us. And so that's part of what I do, is kind of help people kind of change their perspective and look at the possibilities of kind of diving in deeper, reconnecting to divine source as one, a reflection of or an extension of God. And we're super powerful. Let's enjoy it and go for it.
So being curious about life.
Absolutely. Yeah. Very well put, Edyta, because I do my best at looking at life through the eyes of a child. And it's like there's newness, and get that feeling and that excitement, because it's all out there. If we raise our frequency, or I say raise because chances are normally we suppress all of these things. But if we can elevate our frequency, that which we are attempting to manifest is already there. We just match the frequency of that, and there it is for us to receive, and then take action with it. And so going back, going from the corporate world into this semi-retirement phase, quite frankly, I'm busier now than I was then, yet I have it balanced in such a way that I have my own quiet time. My morning practice is very consistent. I do wake up early, but it's okay because it's quiet. Nobody's around. I turn my sauna on and I jump in that after an hour when it heats up, and I have my cold plunge and my yoga mat and my PEMF mat, which is a grounding / a microcirculatory mat that I lay on, and breathing my hydrogen, um, doing my breathing exercises and all that stuff. And it just, and I can do it all within an hour, right? And I've done my stretching, my yoga, and all that stuff. And then later, some days are cardio, some days it's weights, some days it's just going to the beach and in nature. Balance.
That's beautiful. So it's almost like by choosing you, you're taking care of. I'm hearing that the consistency, the self-care, taking care of the body, of your energy, of the mind, of like coming into harmony and balance within you. And that's very important. So, and
Yes.
that's beautiful. Thank you for the examples. And I'm going to ask you to give me that later so I can add the links in the description.
Okay.
Whoever wants to, whatever you're using and
Yeah.
benefit. But I have a question, as in, if you can share with us and the audience some of the ways you assist people to come into their power, some of the ways you are in service to them, like some of your modalities when you one-on-one or groups or whatever, how do your offerings.
So what is basically in the Philip's magical toolbox?
Yeah, some few, whatever you can share with us.
Yeah.
Some of your, yeah.
Well, there's two things that allowed me to consolidate and really change my toolbox, my magical toolbox. One was human design and learning, how I tick. And so I help people with that. That's the kind of the basis of my one-on-one or group, small group approach, because it answered a lot of questions for me. It may be more important for projectors, but by and large, if you know certain things, basics, I I mean, it's like astrology. You can go like to the nth degree and so forth, and that's not me. It's just the basics, the blocking and tackling, the free throws or the dribbling in basketball, or I have nothing but sports metaphors, but um, that's was very beneficial to me because then you can start seeing how certain influences and things that transpire throughout your day can directly affect you. Um, and then the other thing is um, I really don't do any inner child work with people, but I just have them contemplate that. And if they want to kind of dive into that, I would kind of segue them to somebody that more specializes in that and is more trained with that. Right. One of the things that I think happens in this day and age is that people may be stepping into places that maybe they shouldn't, and maybe they're not providing the proper guidance, if you will. But within human design as a projector, my superpower is my ability to see things that other people can't. Like I frequently see the words people aren't saying. Now I don't literally see them, but I hear the words they're not saying. So they're saying one thing when I hear what they're really meaning, so to speak. And it can be kind of scary because I can dive in and penetrate into the core of their being. And that's why it's so important that I get invited, right? Because it can be a little intimidating. And maybe because I didn't know of this power, I knew of it in a sense when I was younger. I might have been a little mischievous with it. And so now it's honoring that and, utilizing it in the proper form, which is good. And then I tapped into this other seminar thing, and if people want more details, I can share them more one on one. But basically, this whole methodology allowed me to take. I used the kind of analogy of I had all these tools through all these different, whether programs or seminars or books or videos or movies or mentors or coaches or whatever, you know. I had all these tools, right? And so imagine, having a pair of pliers in the living room and a hammer in the, kitchen and a wrench in the bathroom and a saw in the garage. And it's like you're going through and it's like, where's that tool I need, right? And so this recent thing that I went through, the seminar, um, allowed me to consolidate all my tools into my toolbox, right? It's just like it was a big aha moment. It's like, oh my gosh, it's maybe not coming across in video right here, right now, but it was amazing. So now I have this magical toolbox. I don't have to go hunt for the pliers, or the saw or the hammer, or the wrench or whatever. It's just all right here. And then, like any specialized mechanic or woodworker or whatever, they have their whole chest, right? But they don't take it with them on the job. They can't take all the saws and all the hammers and all the wrenches and all. They can't do it. They have to grab a couple that make sense and, go out there, and meet the people. But this way, in this format and working one-on-one with people via, Zoom or what have you, my toolbox is right here. I can just dive in and grab it and away we go. So did I answer your question? I know I'm rambling a little bit here, but
No, that makes sense, everything. Yeah.
That
okay.
makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And so the idea is for them really truly to tap into their divine being, right? We're all miracles upon entrance into this realm, into this world or this on this plane of existence, right? And so that we've been conditioned, and maybe one of the first things is to realize that we allowed that conditioning ourselves. So maybe it was forced upon us as children, but as adults, it's our job to regain that which is ours and let go that which is not. And so there can be teachers or, bosses or parents or aunts and uncles or neighbors or whatever that, created us or created a situation where we, through put our defenses up or our shields up to survive, right? So chances are we did things to survive, or the way in which we believed we needed to do to survive in the world. And so now it's just like going through an inventory. Do I still need that? Where is that from? Where did that come? Is it mine? No, it's not mine. Release it. Yes, it is. Why is it mine? And you just do this decision tree and so forth. And so, just doing exercises like that allows people to, again, open up. But I really believe, whether it's with me or somebody else, another mentor, it's really important to realize that you're not alone. You get in a small community, whether it's one or two or three or four or whatever, where you're simply just supporting each other, period. You let people share what they're thinking, what they're feeling, from a personal perspective. They're going to open up, and that ripple of effect in sharing out loud, putting in words, allows everybody to process and grow and prosper together. So it's truly magical. So find a community. There's one that just spooled up on Facebook, and this gal goes, I got to go live on Facebook. And it was her passion. So now all of a sudden there's 30 or 40 people in this group, and they're all opening up very vulnerably. So it's like a very small group, but they're getting on camera. And I never used to like being on camera. Okay. But here I am, right? I'm not nervous or anything like that. But these people are like shaking, and maybe many of you can relate to that. It's like, no way, I'm not going to do that. But find a community where you can do that, because in sharing, I'm telling you, magical things happens. Your walls come down and the vulnerability there, and then you're tapping into spaces that you never thought possible. So lean in. As my life coach, who I've had for like 7+ years, she goes, lean in imperfectly. And perfectly is a really good word for me to stay away from. Yeah, we're leaning in imperfectly.
We meant to live in a community, and it's a family or friends or both, but we are not meant to live alone. Even we need a time for ourselves to be alone, but sharing, like, if we go somewhere and we see something pretty, we like take a picture, or we want to share right away with somebody. So
We're tribal people.
yes,
We're tribals.
yes. So
That's
yeah.
it. Find your tribe. And you can have different tribes.
Yes.
Because
You
there's
don't have
many
to have
aspects of
one.
you.
Right.
I'm listening to you, and it's fascinating. And I'm also seeing, like the picture. It's like, because you keep saying the projector, you're the projector, right? So what I'm picking, and please let me know if kind of accurate to what you do with people,
Okay.
is the gifts. You have the ability and the gift, many gifts, but to project back to your clients or to the groups their true essence, and
Yeah.
also for them to actually see themselves, the true essence of who they are through you.
Yeah. In a nutshell. Now those are secrets. You're letting everybody know. Because I am personally not developing that response or perspective for them. I'm listening to them, and I'm seeing these things, and I'm asking questions, and I'm providing a perspective for them to consider. And if they like what, it's them, it's truly them, right?
Without the filtering, without the makeup, without the
Exactly.
masks.
And the beauty and the amazing power and the energy that they have, and they'll be uplifted. It's not me, it's just me reflecting back or projecting back their true divine nature.
So it's no judgment.
No, zero judgment. Zero.
Transparency and authenticity.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
should call yourself, I'm a mirror.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm your mirror.
Air for sure. For sure. Yeah, maybe.
It's just
Yeah,
um,
mirror. That's a whole nother thing, the mirror. But yeah, the other thing I touch on is the language that they use, because there's so many different examples. Let me see if I can share a couple. Because spelling and language is creating spells, and you can go down this rabbit hole or not, but just have fun with it. Let's have some fun, right? But let's see here. So, like for instance, like the the phrase "no worries." People say it all, no worries. Well, potentially that could be KNOWWORRY. To no worry is to no worries, right? And people go, well, it's spelled different, but your subconscious doesn't realize that. And so if we're saying no worries is to know a worry, or know multiple worries, potentially maybe we're setting ourselves up to be in tune with or a frequency of worry. How about all good?
All good.
All good. I mean, it lifts you up. You can't not help being lifted up.
I
You know,
love how you send me messages when you say instead of good morning, you send grand rising.
that's it. Grand rising. I'm rising up to meet this day, to connect more closely with source as one, right? And mourning, what is mourning? Mourning is where we honor the
Grieving.
passing of somebody that's no longer in this realm, right?
Yeah.
It's like people go, well, it's spelled different. It's like you can stick with that. I'm just asking to consider. And the first few times when you say grand rising, you're gonna start laughing and chuckling. It's like, well, that's the weirdest thing coming out of my mouth. And it's like, true. Well, have fun with it. I remember walking in Sedona when I was on my road trip and doing all these different hikes at the crack of dawn, and people would say good morning, and I say grand rising, and a couple of them would stop me dead. And you see, that's another one. Stop dead. Why stop dead? It's like stop and live. Anyway, they stop me and say, I think that's the most beautiful thing I've ever heard. But we're grand rising, we're rising. The sun is ready to come up over the horizon. And it's like, let's take advantage of that. I love it. I but
This is, yeah, go ahead.
go ahead. No.
No, it's just like this is such a yummy, interesting topic that
and concept.
and concept that we would actually love to have you back
All right.
show, and we actually can dive deeper into the magical spelling and words and mindfulness and all that awareness around all of that. How does that sound? Because I'm just
No, that
looking
sounds great.
at the time. So before we finish for today, is there a message or anything that you'd like to share with audience? A sentence or two to inspire them, to give them hope? Anything that you would like to?
Just this kind of idea is you're not alone. You are divine. You have unlimited possibilities or infinite possibilities there awaiting you. And doing it alone is really not prescribed. Talking to myself now, but find your tribe and have multiple different tribes or groups, because that support will just provide you the foundation to launch in towards your true passions. Because if we are in our true passion, we're going to be better. And that, us vibrating at such a high level, will affect everybody that's in and around the room that we're in or the community that we're in. They're just going to see us vibrating so high. They want to be there. And then that's going to lift them up. And so it just, as the tide rises, all boats rise with it. So enjoy it.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. And if people would like to connect one-on-one, schedule time with you, one-on-one sessions, how can they find you? And of course, everything that you talk today with your tools, with all this stuff in the morning, and also any links you provide, we will add it to into the description below. So easy.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I have a website. I do open up my calendar for like 30-minute intro or 20 to 30-minute intros. I sometimes call them lantern sessions, just kind of from a projectorism, let's shine a little light, type thing, and maybe find a path or a journey we can venture on together. But that's it at projectorphil.com. And yeah, you'll put them in that. And then my Instagram is I am projectorphil. I'm projectorphil on YouTube. That's just getting up and going. That's going to be some fun. And then I'm just Phil Isaksen on Facebook, because there's a few of us Phil Isaksens. My godson is one as well. So he got Philip Isaksen. But in any way, yeah, check the notes and throw some comments down. Give us some feedback.
Please do. Please do. Thank you for asking that. Yes, throw some comments. Please make a note, mention anything. And if you'd like to have questions for Philip, please do add them as well. And your journey is amazing and so needed and so organic and so authentic and yummy and interesting. It's like you're curious about life, and that is amazing, inspiring.
Inspiring for people, especially wiser people. They just want to do something else in their life, and all suddenly they have no clue, but they know they want to change something. So definitely.
And they don't know where to begin. So you are there to mirror their true essence. How magical is that? What a true gift you are. Well, thank you so much, Philip.
We love it too.
We love it too. And thank you. It was such a pleasure talking to you. And I hope the audience, you love it as much as we did. And we will happily have you back in the near future to dive deeper into magical words and who knows what.
Sounds great, you too.
It sounds like fun.
Sounds like fun. So much love, many blessings. Thanks again. And
aloha.
Aloha. Till next time. Bye for now.
Thank you. Bye.